politics of Trump. Just now I have a conversation with a guy who talking about free speech once again, as usual, because you can't say a phrase without this free speech mantra. I just talked to him and he said that government is working for them, for people, for common people, right? And it's all about having a free speech. And then was a little discussion about that everything bad because government involvement. And it's just clicked in my head that think about this stuff. One part of elite want to government control everything and take actions against big corporations and rich people if they need it. From the other side, on the other hand, Trump politics is all about the small government, less regulations, etc., etc. It means that when you as a small business have to compete with some corporation, you will absolutely 100% will lose. And smaller government, smaller involvement of police and regulations will mean that corporations have more freedom in such conditions. And one guy told that Democrats is all about the government control and pretty much all about current economical system where with help of the loans money get to the people. From the other hand, Republicans was always about pro-corporations, and this have sense. This system of economy could not anymore sustain the level of consumption. Also it could not support tech giants like Facebook or Google. Well, it can support Google, yet its model of when corporation buy an advertisement, etc., it's just useless. Sorry, it's just useless if people have no money to buy. But every American, of course, believes that competition is good, that regulations is bad, that government, and many of American people believe that big government it's a bad thing, that it's only have bureaucracy and nothing else. And I have to agree with that. The bigger the government, the bigger the bureaucracy. But if you have less regulations, if you have less rule, if you have less control, and Trump right now privatizing pretty much Medicaid and Medicare insurance, medical insurance. So he want to create a system like in Ukraine right now, where everything is for sale. Everything is for sale. It means the country will be torn apart by big corporations and oligarchs, of course. And when you try to see that less control over corporations, over their actions, if you will buy, I guess, all the lawyers in the country because you can, if you eliminate lawyers for poor people, accessibility for them, then you have a total control over the country, and in this case maybe even over the Americas altogether. So this current system, I don't know how it will play out in the end, and how it's going to, I don't know, how it's going to be, how it's going to be put in place, I guess, in such a conditions. But all we go into is corporatism. when corporations have more and more control over the government. And this is a Trump goal. Not Trump himself, but the people who stand behind the Trump. Because Trump himself is nothing but a good talking head. Nothing else. And if you really believe that Trump is good businessman, he is good politic or something along those lines, you are idiot. Yes, not fool, not stupid, you are an idiot. The man was bankrupt 4 times, and yet he survived in these severe conditions. Is he worth $8 billion or not? I don't know. This estimations is going from nothing in nowhere. His campaign was totally sponsored by people, if you forget, and of course some donations. So also he do not provide his tax papers, I guess, right, or something along those lines. So you have to really realize that Trump is nothing but a comment, a good one. I don't tell you that he is a bad, he is a good one, and yet nothing but a comment. He is not businessman, he is not politic, he have a name and he have a face. Also he can talk. Talk is all, Trump is all about talk. He can talk. He say right words in the right place and the right time. Yet many times he still screw up. So that's not important. What is the goal for corporations in some case or in some matter? Make you believe, first of all, that socialism and communism is awful systems. It's all about killing people, it's all about total control, it's all about less freedom of speech, etc, etc, etc. And they making it looks like awful system and support your worldview with more and more proofs, more and more memes, which is totally 100% created by propaganda machine. It's not about people doing stuff because they simply against the system. It's all pretty much good controlled. It's the first stage. The second stage that modern socialist is trying to advocate for bigger government. It means more control over the business, over the relationships between banks and common people, etc, etc, etc. So they advocating for this socialist, and that get demonized, like slogans like "fuck the police," creating this idea that police is all about killing people. It's not about serve and protect or something along those lines. That big government, it's a bad thing, and it's explain you with the memes because you're so dumb that you can't read, etc, etc, etc. They creating many ideas. They creating a lot of agenda. Their agenda is all about against current state of mind of American population in general. They make you believe that more control from society and irrelevancy of free speech, not not the lack of free speech, but irrelevancy, because free speech on its own mean absolutely 100% nothing. And if you have this little fixation about free speech, you are talking about you are always tend to be distracted by this. You're fighting against the lack of free speech and yet you do not fight against debt slavery, wealth gap, death of the small businesses in United States, the lack of consumers in United States. You simply don't see it, because many people right now make me sure, or trying to make me sure, that everything is very fine because Trump came to power, because Trump became president and he fixed this all. When in reality I see still strikes of factory workers, of somebody else, working people, strikes of working people, constant layouts which I hear about, constant how to say it, closing of many stores, which is of course a jobs, obviously. I hear about the lack of production of some sort of goods. For example, Ford stopped to produce cars. It means that some factories will be shut down in the near future. Maybe Ford played safe right now and want to eliminate cars altogether, because soon there will be a big dispute between United States and European Union, and you can solve it, and therefore you don't need cars anymore. You can't sell cars in United States because Americans love bigger. So when they create such agenda, when they create such a propaganda, and it's absolutely fake and have nothing with the truth, because socialism and communism, it's about the control of people over the government, when capitalism and democracy, it's when the government take control over the people. And we see it pretty much clear right now. But as long as you have food on your table, as long as your personal business doing fine, as long as you are hoping for some changes, as long as government presented you propaganda that everything fine, there is a lot of jobs created, there is a lot of there is less and less unemployed people, when those numbers are easily manipulated, because you're not counting people who working or who don't work. You just simply create a poll. So therefore the next big thing is almost totally private medicine. It will mean that less people, even less people will get access to medicine, to healthcare. It will mean that there will be less and less people who can afford stuff, etc. So in this case scenario, this politics of Trump team is all about the lesser government, like they will not be involved in your life as much as they can, or they will be involved as little as they can. They will not be regulate healthcare. They will not regulate quality of products or something along those lines. Once again, they will not be able to produce enough police or firemen, etc., etc., etc. They need to reduce number of government workers right now. This system, this current economical system, is eating too much resources, and they want to cut spendings down. It will mean that there will be less policemen, less even the first responders, firefighters, etc., etc., etc. But in essence, what it's all about, it's not about the cutting spendings on some community services. It's all about give big corporations even more power over the decisions that they're making. If they want to eat somebody, they will eat somebody, even right now. But what if regulations will be even lesser? Right now, the government is the only reason why you not being eaten by corporations. Why you still have your small business or private enterprise or can sell stuff that have absolutely no meaning. Or I don't know, some Herbalife or something along those lines. And this idea is what they're trying to achieve. Give more power to corporations, to private business. Because once there is corporations without heavy regulations, small business will simply die off. And corporation will become more bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes, they will play, maybe they will play it safe, and like 2 or 3 corporations will be control the whole market, and it will not be monopoly, yet you will be under total their control. Farming business could be simply totally centralized in hands of some corporations. You already have railroads that absolutely 100% controlled by only few corporations, etc., etc., etc. It means that what I see now, that people are ignorant in general. People are living with this idea that fuck your opinion. Fuck your opinion. My opinion is matters, and I'm original or I'm special, and fuck your opinion. Pretty much that's how people live right now. So let me sum it up, I guess. Current Trump administration politics, because it's not Trump politics, current Trump administration politics is pro-big corporations, is pro-less government, less regulation over the private business, and therefore give more room for private business to expand. And it's not about small business, small private business, because this current model of support of small business ended already 11 years ago. Right now, they're trying to create a strawman from communism and socialism, because in socialism, you have to be responsible before the face of the people. When in democracy, or in United States, for that matter, if someone will say that it's democracy, it's not democracy, it's republic. In democracy or in United States, this system works different way. If you have money, you have everything. You can be exempt from making crimes and something along those lines. And this system will get even worse from here if this will be put in place, because less control of the government, which provide you protection from big corporations, will mean that you not protected anymore over the face of the big corporations, over the face of some crooks and conmans. Maybe even it's even like very sarcastic that a conman become the face of this kind of ideology. because it's an ideology. And yet, I want to stress out that every 25 years or so, plus minus couple of years, during the period of previous 100 years, US economy fall into crisis when government have to get involved in your economy and save it from, and like sometimes even rebuild it from the scratch. Sorry. Because crisis of 1929 lead to construction of the interstate roads. This is absolutely government program. It leads to creation of the Hoover Dam. It's a government program. It's not personal program, etc., etc., etc. And the crisis of 1971 led to creation of economical system which is absolutely have no connection with real economy whatsoever. It means that government kicked in once again and recreate economy so the private business would not kill economy of United States once and for all. So you have to see that each 25 years there was some huge change that doesn't allow privately owned enterprises destroy United States economy one way or another. And this period is ended in 1998. Yet it was prolonged for another 10 years, but it ended in 2008 once and for all. Since then, all the growth in economy of the world represented with amount of the debt that governments can accumulate. It doesn't represent with real numbers of production or consumption. In such conditions, only China maybe show the real growth of economy without this manipulation with debt. Only China can show some growth without needed to sell the debt for another governments or privately owned enterprises. US economy, European economy, Australian economy, Brazilian, Argentinian economy, those all are in decline since 2008. And all the growth it have because of government creating more and more debt. Argentina went through bankruptcy once or twice during the period. I don't remember exactly, but Argentinian can correct me if I'm wrong. But once or twice American Argentinian economy went through bankruptcy during the period. But this system cannot go on forever by piling up the debt. This means that you need to transfer to another economy. But there is no other economy right now in the world which can support the level of consumption that there is. What do they want to create with this more corporation controlled economy and political life? I don't really understand because I'm not very bright for that. Yet I clearly see how propaganda is pushing this idea that police is bad, government is bad, I don't know, something along those lines. Give us more freedom, give us less control, destruction, chaos, even the anarcho-capitalistic ideas came to life, which is absolutely unrealistic because people don't even understand how this all works. And you can't go to socialism. Once again, I have to stress out, you can't go there because they create a strawman from communism and socialism. They create a strawman that you're afraid of like a crow. You hating it, you're labeling people socialist or communist if they disagree with you. If somebody trying to provide you with the facts, you trying to label these people, hate them, laugh at them, etc., etc., etc. I see perfectly this kind of mentality in American people. You want to stay ignorant and follow your thought that fuck your opinion. Fuck your opinion, that it means that you have only limited amount of knowledge. It means that you don't ask questions, you believe all as it's said, as it presented to you. And of course, propaganda machine is working very well. And they trying to laugh at concept of socialism when you own everything. They trying to create strawmen that telling you that everything will be taken away from you, and you will lose your personality, you will be cheated, you will be controlled by the government officials or something along those lines. Of course, it's a bullshit. Yes, it's possible. I didn't say that it's not possible. It's totally possible. Yet it's a bullshit. For the moment, it's simple bullshit. So, once again, sum it up. Trump administration is trying to create the corporate rule, the corporate control government, the corporate controlled society, as it pretty much should be in essence. It's not socialism who will end it with this, but it's corporations. Also, they create hate in society in general, because this hate is going from the propaganda, of course, pieces. Hate communist, hate capitalist, hate Antifa, hate fascist, hate Nazis, hate white, hate black, hate Jews, hate everyone. Hate at least someone. And you have this fixation on free speech and you think that it's really relevant. It's not. The common sense, that is what's relevant. In essence. So, once again, I want to say that it's not about the people. Current state of economy is simply unsustainable. Your US economy is not doing fine. It's doing worse than ever before. Even worse than in 1929, sorry. It's in such a bad shape that you can't imagine to yourself. And if one domino will fall, this whole big picture will fall apart. And no, nor gold nor silver will save you. Believe me. Maybe I will sound like an alarmist in this situation, and I don't know when it will going to happen. Russian economist Mikhail Hazin suggests that it will be in near something along the lines of 2022 or 2023. That when it must happen. But crisis might happen much faster and earlier. Actually, it must been happened today, yesterday, in September. It doesn't yet. Yet world already in recession, and it's just a matter of time when Soros will make his move once again and bring world economy to the knees. because Soros always making money off of it. It's not about bad manners or something along those lines. No. He's simply making money. He is capitalist. I once said in comment that I know the truth that will bring American elites down, but no one wants to listen. And I do have this information. This information is pretty simple. Rich people and corporations absolutely have 100% control over your thoughts. And that is why this information is irrelevant for you. Because you're absolutely sure, you have absolute illusion that you are in control of your government, politics, or representatives. You're not. That's a simple truth. You are not. And with changes the Trump administration making, you will have even less control over your politics, over your regulations, over the corporations and rich people. And they will do whatever they want. Probably, of course, I can be sure about. Yet I see the points of what they do. They really want to try and do this. Less regulations and therefore more control of corporations, because they have simply more resources than you will ever have. They even have the privately owned armies if they need it. And what do you have? Your AR-15? You think you can stand against them? Good luck with that.